The robotic blacksmith project, I mean, what a brilliant idea. And it's really going to help the resiliency of our fleets now and into the future. But how are we finding the right people to man teams like that, to man critical needs? Well, our next speaker is not only going to answer that, but it's a driving force behind that very idea. Finding out how we can better leverage partnerships with academia and industry to find the correct people to do this, to get better results for research and development. Anissa Lumpkin is a person that's not only going to tell you how it's being done, but for folks inside and outside of AFRL, take notes. Because she's helping drive that very force to show how we can not only answer the questions and problems of today, but push that to tomorrow with diverse and, well, honestly, much needed solutions. That said, let's hear how she's driving this idea and making it possible through the power of influence. Please welcome to the stage, Anissa Lumpkin.
So, for those of us that have kids or just a busy house full of people, perhaps you can relate to this. My house smells amazing due to a fresh out of the oven sweet potato pie, or perhaps you're more of a pumpkin pie person like my husband. And I go to the drawer to get some forks. There's no forks there. Okay, let me look in the dishwasher. There's a couple of forks there, but they're dirty. Where are all the forks? So I call the culprits to the kitchen, you know, my kids. Most of those forks are in the trash somewhere, outside, or under the couch. Those forks will never get back, right? But we needed a solution to this plan. Funding. Buy more forks, take inventory of the new forks, and definitely set a kid's dishwashing schedule. I'm Anissa Lumpkin, an operations research analyst with the Air Force Customer Engagement Directorate. And today, I'm going to share with you why it is so important to take a hard look at your tables and figure out who is missing, and then use the power of influence to fill those chairs. So previously, I managed the Air Force Research Laboratory's Small Business Innovation Research Small Business Technology Transfer Program, as we say, SBIR-SITR. This program is commonly referred to as America's Seed Fund, right? So the founder of SBIR, Roland Tibbets, in the 1980s, believed in converting government R&D into commercial applications and technological innovations, therefore stimulating aggregate economic growth. Congress referred to the SBIR program as potentially the most significant program in the areas of science and technology of this century. In 2019, the Air Force launched a series of pitch days, and I awarded millions of dollars through the Air Force SBIR-SITR program. And at these pitch days, it was so exciting because I was able to meet firsthand these small businesses and university partners that I had been doing contracts with for so long, and finally got a chance to see firsthand their technologies and their journeys to working in the SBIR and SITR program. But there were souls that were missing from the table. There wasn't anybody there that looked like me or attended a historically black college and university, an HBCU. So I did some research, did a little data call search, and the results were alarming. There were zero participation with small businesses that partnered with HBCUs. The significant multi-million-dollar Air Force program that had been going on for decades. So what was the solution? The first step in the power of influence is to ask and engage. So do you think that zero participation in this program is okay? Not on my watch. So after engaging and asking the Air Force, we had to put together a plan. I reached out to anybody, right? I'll call anybody, I'll brief anybody. I reached out to every HBCU president, provost, dean, College of Engineers, anybody that would talk to me. And I simply asked, why? The answers varied, but the overall feedback was just the lack of outreach and engagement for them to just understand the process. So what are we to do? So with that, the next step is to make sure that we are going to our roots, right? So I went back to Tennessee State University, the land of golden sunshine. Go Tigers. And this is the place where I learned my foundation. I got my bachelor's in aeronautical and industrial engineering technology. I also completed Air Force ROTC, where I earned my commission as a United States officer. This place set my HBCU and Air Force pride. So I was welcomed with open arms by the Office of Sponsored Research Program Director, and we went over the triumphs and challenges that I faced ahead, from reducing barriers to entry to lack of resources, training, and the vital tech connections with small businesses. The next step in the power of influence is to legitimize my leadership. I took the data and all of the research and I presented it to my two AFRL directors at the time, the director of Air Force Small Business Office and the director of Air Force Silver Sitter at the time. Mr. Shahadi's in the audience. And after looking at it, they both gave me the green light to ensure that we could go out and find out just how we can make sure that all universities are a part of the Silver Sitter program. But I had no money, no funding. I had no contractor to help me execute this mission, so I reached out to financing and contracting. And then I needed a program to have some sort of small business to help me run this mission. And from there, I attended several events at the Wright Brothers Institute for their Collider events. And I had been hearing about a wonderful small business, and I just happened to meet the president, Infinite Management Solutions. And from there, I received another green light from our director to go ahead and make that award to IMS, a Black woman-owned company, another first for AFRL Small Business Office. So now that we had our places in line, we immediately founded the Air Force HBCU Outreach Initiative. And that initial goal was to increase government-funded research and development dollars to underserved universities. I just told you, I briefed anybody, right? I briefed the AFRL commander. I even ended up in front of the Air Force chief scientist. And they all gave me overwhelming support of this program to proceed forward. So the next step is to connect and align. Connecting and aligning ensures that we are aligning our technological capabilities to our Department of Defense technologies for our universities. We partner with several organizations such as Apex, who is an AFRL partnership intermediary, who helped us with Silver Sitter training and also data analytics. Also other associations like BDPA, who helped us with stakeholders and other resources. We're continuing to path to make sure that we have all of the pieces in line to ensure that we're helping our underserved universities. And part of the connectivity, we found small businesses, founders who were graduates of HBCUs, but also well-versed in the Silver Sitter process. Enter Ohio-based Spectral Energies, for example. Their president and staff sat down with TSU and discussed marrying their two technologies together. This was a perfect match, and I gotta say, it's because of the outreach. TSU and Spectral Energies technologies together resulted in AI-based sensor fusion modeling, advanced visual system software for engine control systems, and this technology would be crucial for future autonomous vehicles such as self-driving cars. Spectral Energies also collaborated with North Carolina A&T University, an HBCU that is ranked among the top 200 engineering schools in this country. The work that they did collaborated in AI-based modeling and control for scramjet engines. So finally, now that we have all the pieces together, it was time to activate hope by providing a reason why. Finally, so excited, HBCU scientists and engineers were getting their lack resources, training, and all the pieces that it needs to get them a fair seat at the table. The Air Force leadership even went on to be inspired to support the Air Force University Affiliated Research Consortium, a $90 million program awarded for tactical autonomy to Howard University. Thanks to the generous support of programs such as AFWorks, we saw an increase of $20 million for small businesses that were partnering with HBCUs and minority-serving institutions through the SIBR and SITR program. This program has generated and grown to offer quarterly newsletters, our popular Ask Me Anything events with notable guest speakers, as well as 4 annual colliders, with the last one being held at Florida A&M University. And we had a great time, as you can see here. This program initiative enabled underserved universities, minority-serving institutions, our Air and Space Force, and our small business community to come together and address the issues in making sure everyone had a fair seat at the table. Moving forward, I ask you, who is missing, who is not represented at your power of influence? Think about the teams that you run, organizations that you lead, teams that you're a part of, and ask yourself, who is missing from this table? So, I challenge you now, take out your cell phones. You heard me, take out your cell phones. And I want you to think about that person that you really want to be there and be at your table. Let them know that you value their input. Go ahead and call me General Kane. You can put my number. You value their input, and let them know that you want them to be there. Thank you.
Anissa, you should have reached out to Andrew and his team. You could have got the robotic blacksmith to help make some forks. Save the dinner, right? I kid, of course. But that's an example of what kind of people we have in the lab, these brilliant minds we can collaborate with to answer today's problems. And Anissa's talk really illustrates that point well, that we, or someone else here, can be that wingman to find that solution and to help problems today, tomorrow, far beyond.